Details of gear shifters of automatic transmission. Do you know gear shifters of automatic transmission of vehicles? And what do shift lock and Audi gear do with them? Don't you know, right? Well, you're not alone. In Qatar, there are about 100 million people like you in confusion all over the world. A report shows that more than 10 million automatic transmission vehicles are sold in the United States alone each year. Each letter or number listed in the transmission gear shift represents a unique meaning for the transmission. Let's dive into the meaning of automatic gear shift so that you can easily understand the meaning of each letter or number. What does P mean in an automatic transmission? What does P mean? The automatic transmission describes individual gear settings with the characters, but it's a bit confusing to newcomers. This is actually an activation setting. The P in the automatic gear is the park setting gear, which means that the gear lever in the P will move the car into the parking mode, in which case the gear is locked in the automatic transmission, which prevents the wheels from turning forward or backward. Don't turn around. Many people shift to P after parking and use it as a brake, and this is the rule. When in P mode, the power of the engine does not go to the wheel. Then the engine runs at idle speed. In simple words, shifting to P will put the car in parking mode, which means the car will be locked automatically. When the car stops, the gear has to be shifted to P. That means put it in when you don't drive. What does R mean in an automatic transmission? What does R mean? R means reverse, meaning the gear selected for a rear-wheel drive is R. When you move the gear lever from P to R, the converter inside the automatic gearbox is positioned in the opposite direction to the gear, whose, as a result, the drive wheel begins to spin backward, causing the car to move backward. Simply put, shifting to R will cause the car to go into reverse gear. What does N mean in an automatic transmission? What does N mean? N is an indicator where shifting will move your car to neutral mode, i.e. the drive wheel of the gearbox of the automatic transmission will be free so that the engine power will not be added to the drivetrain. But if you are at N, you can push the car and move it back and forth. Simply put, shifting the gear lever to N will move the car to neutral mode, meaning the engine's power drive will not go on the train. This can be done by pushing the car and going to the workshop. Doctor has been attached. What does D mean in an automatic transmission? What does D mean? D means to drive. Shifting to D activates the drive gear. Shifting to D will force the drive gear on the wheels, and when you press the accelerator at your desired RPM, you will reach the desired level as well as gradually shift to higher gears. The automatic drive gear will shift down to the down gears as the car starts to slow down. D is also commonly referred to as overdrive. This is the full speed gears setting in the automatic transmission. This gear is used on highways or when the car is driven for extended road trips at the same RPMT. In simple words, shifting to D will keep the car moving forward, and as soon as the accelerator pedal is pressed, the speed of the car will continue to increase rapidly, and this increase can be increased from 3 to 9 times. What does S2 mean in an automatic transmission? What does S2 mean? S2, many cars have this type of gear option. S is sports mode, and many people call it second gear. Gear shifters of automatic transmission in this mode will basically give you a lot of power, which means you will get extra power in the lower gear. In this mode, the lower gear will reduce the torque and increase the power, so you can use this gear effortlessly if you need to climb a hill, a high place, or a deep hole. There is no need to use this gear without such a situation. Otherwise, your fuel consumption will increase. What does BL mean in an automatic transmission? What does BL mean? BL, many cars now use B instead of L, but the two things carry almost the same meaning. Basically, gear shifters of automatic transmission will increase the torque in the lower gear of the car while the speed will be reduced, due to which the car will control more traction and the car will be able to go down the steep slope or down from the high place effortlessly. It will be easier to control the car. OD is an overdrive mechanism, i.e. when OD has pressed, the gear of the car becomes free, due to which the speed of the car will increase in proportion to RPM. The ratio of top gear is 1:1, and if you press OD there, its ratio will go to 1:0.7, so that if the engine runs at 4,000 revolutions per minute, then the drive gear will run at 4,300 revolutions per minute. In simple words, Audi will work in the 5th gear, engine in 4th gear. Rules for using OD: Audi has to turn on when the speed of the vehicle crosses 60 km/h. Notice that the normal RPM, at a speed of 60 km/h, will reduce as soon as the Audi is pressed and the pickup goes home. I hope you understand. Shift lock: the car went off without starting or ignition. This can be changed. If you think that the battery is sitting while the car is parked, you need to give the car 2 hands to help the battery at that moment. How can you give the car back now? At this moment you can neutralize the car by pressing the swift button, then you can take it in front of or behind the car.